Reactive training systems.
Powerlifters in general seem to hate the front squat. There are a few notable exceptions, guys like Dan Green or Jeza Wepa. But in general, we seem to really not like that movement very much. And it's understandable. We practice the back squat. In particular, a lot of us practice a low bar variety of back squatting. And the front squat mechanic is very different. So problems arise. You know, we treat it like it's a squat with the bar on the front. And so when you go to squat, the bar falls off your shoulders because it's not the same mechanic. It's much more of a sit down mechanic than a sit back mechanic. When you sit back in the front squat, the bar falls off your shoulders. You have to sit straight down, dropping the hips straight down between your feet at least as much as possible. That way your torso stays vertical and you can maintain that front rack position. I hear complaints now and then about people feel like they're more limited by upper back strength in the front squat than they are by quad strength. And to some extent, I understand that complaint. Like, I see where that's coming from. But I'm not sure that it works out quite how they think it does. So, predominantly what happens to somebody, even somebody that's got a mild proficiency in the front squat, like kind of me right now, I would say I have a mild proficiency in the movement. As you get fatigued, the tendency is to revert back to a mechanic that's closer to your back squat. You allow the knees to drift back, you allow the hips to come up, and you're shifting more of the load toward your hips. Now in a front squat with the front rack position, that's going to cause you to dump the bar. It's not because your upper back is weak in cases like that. You know, if you're dumping the bar, then it could be because your upper back is weak, but very often when I see this happening, it's not that. It's that, in fact, your quads are weak because your quads are unable to maintain movement. They're unable to generate enough torque to maintain bar speed as you come up with the lift. So as a compensation pattern, you allow the hips to come up, shift more of the load to your hips so that you can keep the bar moving. Well, that obviously causes problems with that front rack position. So it's not so much that your upper back can't maintain the position oftentimes. It's that your quads are not able to generate the torque that is needed. You know, oh, by the way, that's the point of doing a front squat, is to develop those quad muscles. So once you have some basic proficiency in the movement, I think it's a great way to train the quads because it has that requirement. Now there's also a significant upper back contribution to the front squat, and it's something that shouldn't be ignored. But I don't think it's the limiting factor for most people, especially after you gain a basic proficiency in the movement. And it doesn't take that long to gain that proficiency. If you just think about it, have a moderate amount of kinesthetic awareness and give yourself a couple weeks to actually practice it, then I think you'll find that you can get pretty proficient with that movement, and it's not so bad. In fact, it can get kind of fun. So if you haven't given the front squat a fair shake, I would definitely recommend that you do that. It's something that you can do with basic equipment. It's a great way to target your quads and develop your quads for the back squat. It's just a good supplemental movement all around.
Reactive training systems.